If you could please introduce yourself.
Okay, so hi, my name's Stella Farrell. I work in St. Joseph's Centre in Shankill, which is a residential centre for people with dementia. I've been working there for about 9 years. My background is in art and art therapy, and I also have an interest and a bit of an education in counselling and psychotherapy. So that works really well hand in hand with my job as a carer in St. Joseph's Centre. So that's me in a nutshell. Yeah.
How did you come to find out about the Story to Remember program, and what interested you about it?
I heard about the Story to Remember program from my manager at the time. She approached me and asked if I'd be interested. I didn't really know much about what it was. I just knew it was with the Gaiety and it was to do with drama, and I love creative things like that. And I thought the chance to bring something like that into the workplace would be really exciting. So I said, sign me up. Don't really know what it is, but sure, I'll go for it. And really glad I did. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the training and some of your favourite moments from it?
So the training took place over about 3 days, in March 2022. Yeah, there was 6 of us all together. The 2 tutors, Seamus Quinn and Caroline Coffey, did the training with us. There was 5 workshops altogether over the course of the 3 days. We did training for the 5 different workshops, which were like a sensory poem, a postcard story, character clapping rhyme, a sense of self, which was kind of about relating yourself to different famous people and people throughout history, and a drama workshop, which was about a sense of achievement. So some of my favorite parts of the course were just getting to meet different people from my field, which was brilliant. So there was some activities coordinators and carers and just people of like mind, and it was really, really nice to just to see that there was people like me out there and that they were interested in similar things and what they were doing in their workplaces. It was really, really nice to share those experiences. And another favorite thing of mine was just the fun, really. Like it was just really good crack. I think a lot of that was down to the tutors. They just really knew how to bring the whole thing to life. So I'll use this as an opportunity to show you the Story to Remember box, which was part of our training. So we were encouraged to put together a box. Mine is a Christmas box because I started doing it around Christmas, but it's just a nice box. It's shiny, and so inside the box, I bring that box with me to my workshops that I do now with the daycare in my work, the club they call it. And inside the box, I have sensory objects that feel nice. And I'm getting the smell. As soon as I open the box, there's a waft of smells because I have soaps, which kind of feel nice. And if I encourage the group to smell and handle the different sensory objects. So that's one of the workshops, is about senses. And so we write a poem together using all our senses: taste, touch, smell. So the first thing we do is our string. The second thing we do is our balloons. And the balloons just encourages that spontaneity and fun that is so important when you're doing these creative activities, because it really encourages people to just get out of their comfort zone and just do whatever they feel like, which is great. I also have my poems and stories that we wrote together. So they live in the box. And it's a really nice thing to do after the workshops, to take out what we've just done and read it aloud, because it does spark some memories, especially with people with living with early stage dementia, that they may actually, it may spark some memories of the workshop we did last time, and it really helps, I think.
Could you tell us a little about how the sessions actually ran?
Yeah, so the sessions have a kind of a structure to them. We always start with our ball of wool or string, and toss that around and use that as a starting point to just reintroduce ourselves. The second part is the balloons to inject that sense of spontaneity and fun. The third part is to recap on whatever we did last week, which would be to read out the story or the poem that we did last week with the group. And then we get into the actual workshop. So it's great to have that bit of structure. I think it makes it much easier to kind of run. It's basically a creative writing session with people with dementia. So I think having that structure is great because you can kind of, I suppose, hold on to something. So the very first session did back in October was a sensory poem. So that's workshop number 1 was a sensory poem. And having the sensory objects to kind of hold on to helped, I think, to bring the club members into that kind of space of being aware of their senses, and yeah, just trust the process, really. I think at that first session, I was nervous that we'd get to the end and I would have a 2-line poem. That is not what happened. So I have a piece of paper like this. They have different senses on them and I hand them around. This is why it's kind of important to just know your residents and know your clients. They can't write, you need to help them. And it can be really challenging for people who's handed someone a piece of paper and they're kind of looking at it going, I can't actually do that. And it's not a nice experience for them or for anybody. So handed around those bits of paper and saw a lot of kind of blank faces and people making funny faces at each other. And I was kind of going, oh my God, what is this actually going to be like when I gathered them all up again? But I gathered them all up. I laid them out on the table and we came out with this beautiful, I don't know if I can read it to you. This is the poem that we got. So we wrote an autumn poem together and I was afraid that I was going to have 2 lines worth. Maybe we had 5 club members who were doing a workshop with me, and some of them were more involved than others, which was completely fine. We had one club member who was very quiet and I thought, well, she's probably not really enjoying this very much. She ended up writing the most. So just don't underestimate people because you just don't know what's going on. So I'll read you out the poem. It's about autumn. The scent of autumn trees in the wind. The wind frees my heart. Snow and rain, fireworks. Big bum, taste of autumn, the smell of trees. Singing birds and bees, leaves fall. The smell of art and fart. Down at the coastline, the sea waves, birds and breeze, the leaves fall. So you can see they got into it. There was fun, there was humor, there was some wild characters, and you can see the personalities coming out. So I encourage anyone doing this course to just let them at it and don't edit, because I think it was so important for them to be able to just say these mad things as much as they wanted, and there was no one saying, "No, you can't say that. This is a sensible poem."
Once you began running the sessions, did you come across any issues, and were there any solutions you found to these?
So one of the issues I came across was that you might be doing the workshops in a space that you're sharing with other residents, other club members or other clients. I found it really beneficial to just carve out a space of my own. So we used the training room, and it meant that the workshops could run a bit more smoothly and we could make as much noise as we want and we could be as silly as we want and nobody would complain. Another tip I found pretty useful was just find out what's going on with people before you start the workshop, because there's always something going on. So around Christmas time, I did a Christmas sensory poem, and found out that one of the residents had just been totally fixated on Christmas all day, and they had just got a off it. And I came in with my Christmas poem, and it wasn't great now. So just ask someone, ask whoever is there, is there anything going on that I should be avoiding or that I should be talking about? And your sessions will run more smoothly. And one more thing is to do the workshops at a table, at table height. We tried to do it around a kind of a little coffee table because I thought it'd be more cozy and we could all sit in our armchairs. But because of the way we have to kind of hand around pictures and things like that and mobility issues you're dealing with, I found a table, even though it feels a bit more sort of board meeting-y, it does run more smoothly and it's more comfortable for everyone.
What advice would you give to anyone looking to bring the Story to Remember program to their residential care setting?
I would say to make sure to show and explain the benefits of the program to colleagues and stakeholders. Because I think when people are aware of all the benefits, it's kind of easy to get them on board. So just make sure to just explain how, like, what a great activity this is, and like all the benefits that I was talking about, like their creativity and spontaneity and their sense of self. I found that management was required to give a little bit extra time-wise to me to be able to facilitate this course, and it's not always easy for that to be given freely. So just make sure that you do express the benefits, and emphasize that choice and autonomy are like really a growing need in residential, specifically care homes. So just to make sure that people know that it's a really good activity to bring that out and to bring that forward.
Could you give an example of some of the benefits and positive outcomes that you've noticed as a result of running the program?
Yeah, the benefits are huge to the residents. It really imbues a sense of confidence and self-expression and creativity and communication, which is really important, I think, for people going through dementia. I think a lot of activities that we have are great and structured, but they can often be carer-led or facilitator-led. And this can be brilliant, and things like dancing and things like that are great for, they're brilliant activities, but I think this one is just that bit different because it all comes from the residents and from the clients. And I think it really encourages that self-expression to come out for someone who might be feeling a bit boxed in or a bit not like themselves. I know as a creative person myself, I think when you start being creative, your personality shows and yourself comes out, and I think it's really easy to forget about that if you're in specifically if you're in an institution or in a home or whatever, that your sense of self can just get lost. And I think a creative activity like this is so important and so beneficial for people, for everyone. The communication specifically actually is really important for people going through dementia, as it's something that gets lost obviously quite early. Our language gets lost, the words get lost, and when you can encourage this creativity, it helps that communication to stay as forefront as possible. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope it's helpful for people who are thinking of doing the Story to Remember program, because I found it really, really great. So thank you.